All right, my name's Mark.
And my name is Ramon Malik.
All right, and today we're going to go over several topics. The first one we're going to go over is DeMarco Hellams, and he honestly might win the Falcons safety spot.
Yeah, especially with even though Xavier Watts is good, I mean they just need like the best fit next to Jesse Bates, and Bates can cover like most of the field. So I guess what they're really looking for in another safety is just somebody who can kind of help their linebackers, their pass rush, because that was obviously their biggest point of concern. So let's see this video on what DeMarco Hellams does for that.
All right, so he proved himself last night, in my opinion. This is the first play. And bam.
Forced
I
the incompletion right there too.
Yeah, very good like safety. I mean, as you can see, like right here, he notices it. I mean, you can't really see it from this point of view, but like right here, he diagnoses it and then comes down and gets it. So
Yeah, and I mean the hitting ability in general, like you don't even need to see how he like does it. It's just the fact that he hits him so hard the ball falls out, and even if he was like on a run play, that kind of hit just loses yardage at that point. So
mhm.
that's something they need on defense, especially considering last year the Falcons. So many times when I watched them, they could not tackle. It was kind of like the Eagles like 2 years ago when they played the Buccaneers. They just did not know how to tackle.
Yeah,
This is
absolutely.
something that they're definitely missing.
All right. I think that's pretty much it for DeMarco Hellams. I think he's
Yeah,
proven it himself. All right, so now let's go on to the biggest topic of today, Micah
Micah
Parsons.
Parsons. Yeah.
All right, so
This is one of the most stupid things the Cowboys have done because out of like all the things, I would think that Prescott would go first, and hell, even if Lamb went, I wouldn't be surprised because of the fact that Lamb has done so much for them and he's gotten no help. But the thing with Parsons is the Cowboys have put a lot into that defense like year round, and they've helped Parsons. They've given him good D coordinators, well, not recently, but like beforehand. And it's like there was never really like he's also just like a cowboy because you know how the way he talks, his podcast and everything. It's just like he's exactly what a Cowboys guy is. They always think they're gonna win, even though there's no chance.
all right, yeah. In my
But
opinion,
this is like,
I think it's really dumb because he's top three edge rusher. You can't really give those away, especially not for cheap. The only way I could
yeah,
see them giving him up is like if they go at the trade deadline, if they go like 0-7 or something like that. That's the only way I could see them trying to get picks for him. Uh, but otherwise, I think they should just keep him. He's really young. He's very talented. And right here, as you can see, it says that he has no interest. That's the nature of negotiation. So like, I think he's just trying to get a new contract. His agent's trying to get him a new contract, just like what
yeah,
happened with Miles Garrett. But I mean, if they're really considering trading him, then that's problematic.
yeah. But even if they don't trade him and give him a contract, the thing is, it just makes them lose more money because of the fact that if Garrett signed a contract before he asked for a trade, they would have given him less. They had to give so much just to keep Garrett. They're gonna have to give up even more to keep Parsons because Parsons, I'm not saying he's a better edge rusher, but he's so much more versatile than Garrett. You cannot put Miles Garrett at safety, but they have put Micah Parsons at safety, and he has done well there.
I
Hell,
think,
you could
yeah,
put him
yeah,
at
yeah.
cornerback, and he might not lose that much because of a slot corner. He's basically like everything. So I think that this is gonna cost them a lot more money than it should have, anyways. And even if you trade him or not, it's still a lose for the Cowboys because honestly, you should have traded him at this point. You can't pay him that
Mhm.
much more,
Yeah,
no
absolutely.
matter how much.
I think it's just a lost cause if they trade him. Like you can't find somebody who's gonna say, "Hold on, bro,
Yeah.
get out of
And
here,
honestly,
bro."
it's kind of like in general, the Cowboys are not going to be that bad to where they're 0-7 or something, but they're going to be around 4-3 by that point, I think, because with Dak Prescott, they've proven to be able to win. The problem right now is if they do decide to trade Parsons, like how much are they realistically going to get in the trade package, and how much are people realistically going to give up for someone who is, no matter how good he is, still not the kind of guy you want on like in your locker room. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, yeah. All right, now let's go over the Cherry McLaurin trade request. I think personally that this is a very dumb decision for the Commanders because he's their only wide receiver. Debo Samuel's not gonna carry them.
Yeah.
I don't know what else they're gonna do.
But this feels a lot like what the Hawks are doing with Trey Young right now. Trey Young and McLaurin, like the thing is, the difference is Trey Young's younger, but the thing is with McLaurin's age, no one's gonna give up a big package for him. no one's gonna even be interested because like you can find younger and like more potential wide receivers, right? And he doesn't really provide much more value than you can find somewhere else. Like DK Metcalf, if they can trade, if someone can trade for DK Metcalf, you can find someone a hell of a lot better than Terry McLaurin. So in the end, I think that the Commanders are. This will be better for them because it's not like the Cowboys. They're gonna get McLaurin for a cheaper contract than they would have if they had already signed him. So I think they should just play this out and just sign him for cheap because he's 30 and no one's gonna trade for him. And once McLaurin sees there's no interest, he'll have to settle for cheap. So honestly, while it's not like when if you think of it from like a perspective of oh why they're going to trade him or something, that's dumb. But I think what they're doing is smart. They're going to get a big wide receiver for cheap and probably still get him for his like the rest of his prime years and give Jaden McDaniels a chance to win. Jaden Daniels a chance to win with like without pouring all the money into like two players and not having the rest of the roster. So I think this is honestly smart if you
Oh
think of
yeah,
it from
yeah.
that point.
So like personally, I don't think they're gonna get more than the third for Terry McLaurin. That's just my opinion. I think Terry McLaurin, like when you look at him, he is very consistent, but he just doesn't have the big enough numbers to prove that he can like be a wide receiver one on most teams. I think he's
Amari
perfect.
Cooper, he's exactly Amari Cooper, bro.
Yeah, I know. He's a perfect fit for the Commanders though, and I think that's why he should stay. There's no reason they should be trading him. Yeah.
I think that if they were to trade him, you have to look at one of the teams in the AFC South because look at those teams and tell me that not all of them, other than the Colts, need a wide receiver,
Yeah, yeah. I think he could fit in
and they
in
will
any of those
pay.
teams.
And the similarity between all those teams is they're all incompetent franchises who will overpay because they're all young and trying to get like a receiver that fits their timeline. It's kind of like what the Bills did with Diggs. Diggs was older, but he was just like McLaurin, just a route runner that was good, consistent, nothing special, and then helped one of their guys with MVP year. So they all have young quarterbacks there in the AFC South. They're going to probably do the same thing. If you were to trade McLaurin, you do it there, in my opinion.
Yeah, I think the only team that could possibly trade for him is the Titans because I mean they just need a wide receiver. They don't really have any. I think they would really overpay for him, especially like with Ridley. I think he could be really good, like backup or like wide receiver one and Ridley like a deep threat. But yeah, otherwise I don't think it's gonna work out. So our next topic is gonna be Shador Sanders. I think he played pretty good. I don't know about you. I mean,
Honestly, I think this is like an overreaction. Shadur Sanders is like I've been like this the whole way. You didn't see it, but like ever since this man was supposed to be like declared for the draft, I was thinking he's not that good. He's just like the name. He's not that good of a player. He's just like Bronny James. His name is big. When they said he was going to be a first round pick, I was just disgusted. Like honestly, fifth round is about where he should have went. This guy's not going to start for the Browns, and honestly, the Browns, I don't know what they're going to do with quarterback, but Shadur Sanders is not it. This is a preseason game, so obviously his stats are inflated and all that, but this is not like what a good player is, you know? He doesn't have any of those like abilities that quarterbacks today have. He can't move around well, and he's just like he's not like a playmaker. He needed Travis Hunter like throughout his years, so I think that he's just getting carried by his like teammates.
I sort of disagree with that. I mean, I watched some of his highlights last night. He was able to like navigate the pocket. He was able to make good reads, good throws. I think personally that he could really work on his decision making though. Some of the throws were just not really good, especially when he escaped the pocket. He could have easily thrown it away instead of like trying to get more yards. I think he can be a decent quarterback. I don't think he can be a great quarterback. He'll probably be somewhere in the maybe 10, maybe up to 8 at top 8 quarterback, but that's the highest I could see him going.
You see him top 8 quarterback,
At
bro?
max, at max.
No, at max, I think he's like I don't know, like the 16th best. He's below average or 17th best.
I mean, he is the best performing quarterback at the Browns practice. But honestly, I think that the Browns are not going to do well this year. I think it's
Yeah, I mean, like being the best performing Browns quarterback is not that much of an achievement.
I think he played
But
fine
yeah,
last night though. I think he felt like a game manager, not really an extender. Kind of like a Brock
yeah,
Purdy type of player, not really.
yeah. That's exactly what I was about to say. Yeah, but Brock Purdy, I think this year we're gonna see that Brock Purdy, while we're on the topic, is gonna he's gonna be an overpay. They're gonna look it back and say we should never have paid him that much. And I think that the Browns should learn from that and know that Shadur Sanders is a backup at best.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. I think he can do well for like he can perform at a level that's acceptable, especially if they have a good running back. But otherwise, he's just not gonna do good. Like he's not
Yeah.
gonna exceed that like mid level. All right.
Yeah,
Let's talk about the Colts quarterback room.
yeah. This is interesting. I'm one of those guys who believes in Anthony Richardson, but I'm also one of those guys who thinks that Daniel Jones here might actually succeed because of how many pieces are around him. My thing is the quarterback room is really bad at the moment, but look at the Vikings last year. They have Justin Jefferson. And I'm not saying that the Colts have a Justin Jefferson, but with how many pieces they have, they're basically like the 49ers, but like without that defense.
I
I
think
think that
personally,
they
oh
can
yeah,
succeed.
I think personally they're gonna have to trade for a quarterback here. Anthony Richardson got his finger injured. I don't know if he's gonna be able to throw for the first couple of weeks. Daniel Jones proved that he's just not good anymore. He's just not gonna be the guy that's gonna be playing. Riley Leonard, he's just threw an interception. Played pretty mid. I mean,
Yeah.
they played against the Baltimore Ravens, their backup team. So I mean, there's not much you can really say. Like as you can see, their backup team literally played against them, and they played horribly. Anthony Richardson is the only person that really did play somewhat decently, but he only had 3 throws, and we can't really tell a lot from that.
Honestly, if Richardson wasn't injury prone, he's like the dream quarterback for this team. He's like Josh Allen if Allen had like a full offense with like enough and like think about it this way. They have an offensive minded coach who was a genius when he was on the Eagles too. They've got a great O line, some really talented wide receivers. Like Josh Downs can run down the field. Michael Pittman Jr. is like a great route runner. They've got a great running game with Jonathan Taylor. They have a tight end who works. They got what? They drafted another one too, right? Tyler Warren.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So they've got so many pieces on offense that if Richardson could stay healthy and we knew he was a project, so we couldn't expect him to have been like what first second year, but this year or next year he was supposed to be better. And honestly, his injury is like the problem. This Colts team is playoff caliber in my opinion, but the quarterback's just setting them back. But they should not do what the Niners did and trade for some old vet who can get them a short term window. They need to like do the same thing. Like if you can find like honestly, I think that they should have went for Fields just because he gave them a good window, and if he worked, you could keep him long term. But like, honestly, they missed that, so I don't know who they would go for now.
Oh
But
yeah,
maybe Tua if he becomes available.
I definitely agree with that. I think if Justin Fields would have worked great on the Colts.
Yeah,
Especially with the weapons they have now. They've Tyler Warren or whatever his name is. I think yeah, is it Tyler Warren?
yeah, it's Tyler
Yeah, yeah.
Warren.
And then you have Michael Pittman, you have Josh Downs, you have like everybody on the outside that's pretty fast. He can throw pretty deep, and
Hmm.
like they're really fast. They can create, I guess, a distraction downfield for Justin Fields to go run.
Yeah. And it's not even like they picked the wrong quarterback with Richardson because he's everything that they need for this offense. Someone who could throw deep so you can use downs, you can stretch the kind of like field. You can also throw short. You can run yourself, which opens up the running game too. And with the O line, he would never have to worry about getting sacked too often. The thing is, that's also why Fields fits. I think that Tua, even though I don't think he'd fit because he can't run and he's also injury prone. But if Richardson wasn't injury prone, he's the perfect quarterback for this roster. And honestly, they could win 12 games minimum if Richardson's healthy and finally like proves himself. Honestly,
Yeah, I think if he starts developing, he could definitely be a really good quarterback. I feel like he reminds me. I don't think he reminds me of Cam Newton like some people. I think he reminds me more of like a. I feel like a slightly bigger, like maybe closer to Josh Allen type of guy.
yeah. I mean, that's why they drafted him. They want a Josh Allen type of guy. But I think Daniel Jones fits because Brian Dayball showed that one year that Daniel Jones could be a Josh Allen type of guy with Saquon Barkley if you can hide him. The Colts have way more than the Giants did back then to hide Daniel Jones's abilities. So I think that Jones will fit perfectly on this roster just because he can throw deep, he can run himself, he'll open things up. Kind of like how Sam Darnold fit with this whole throw it to Justin Jefferson and pray thing like they did last year.
Yeah, yeah. All right, now let's get on to the Pittsburgh Steelers and their situation. Uh,
Yeah,
Hold on.
this
All
is
right,
like pretty interesting. Yeah,
so they did win yesterday. But I mean, they played against backups. They had backups out there. Skylar Thompson, he always shows out for one game and then never comes back, bro. I don't know what happened
yeah.
here. He went 233 yards, 3 touchdowns.
I mean, yeah, but then again, like if you look at the Steelers roster, Thompson will probably have to play more because of the fact that Rodgers is either going to suck or he's going to get injured, right? So I guess you'll have to prepare him for that. But this team, the Steelers have is like it's old, bro. It's like past their prime. They can't win a championship with this team, to be honest.
Do you think, okay, based off of these stats, do you think Travis Hunter's playing offense or defense?
I mean, if it's up to him, he's playing both. But like honestly, I think he should play. I think they need him more on defense, but they also like need him a lot on offense because of Trevor. No, Trevor Lawrence needs him on offense, but the Jaguars need him on defense. Is what I meant to say.
Yeah, yeah. I think personally he is a defensive player. I think
Yeah.
he could work out as an offensive player, but his ceiling isn't as high as on defense. Like I think he could be a top 5 corner if he just like was on defense only.
But this is another situation where the team fit matters because Lawrence has a huge arm, and Hunter doesn't need to run routes that well in this case because if he can just run deep like he usually does and make crazy catches, Lawrence that's when he needs to break out. And then on defense, if he just does what he usually does, he can lift the Jaguars' ceiling up there. I think that's why he fits in this, and he can be both because of Trevor Lawrence and the Jaguars' defense.
I think personally the Steelers are gonna have a rough time this year just because of their offense, but if Aaron Rodgers can somehow play good, I think they can go 9-8. I don't think they'll go like anywhere close to like 7-10 because it's never like the Steelers to go that low. But they're definitely not gonna be a playoff team.
Well, yeah, they're not gonna make the playoffs for sure because of how loaded the AFC is. But my question is, who is their running back? Because that's probably gonna decide most of the outcome, right?
Hold on, let me look that up. So Jalen Warren, uh, Ken Caleb Johnson are probably the top two. Yeah, Jalen Warren and Caleb Johnson.
Yeah, honestly, if they had kept Najee Harris and kept that like whole like run first mantra, it could have worked. But if you're gonna force Aaron Rodgers to throw the ball most of the time, that's not gonna work out for them. I think they're gonna find out. It's either gonna be one of two things. Either it's gonna be like a Brett Favre MVP AFC Championship season, like Brett Favre, or it's gonna be like what Aaron Rodgers did the Jets last year, where he sucked or he gets injured.
Yeah, I think Aaron
So
Rodgers
honestly,
played somewhat okay last year. He had like 3,800 yards, decent bit of touchdowns, decent bit of interceptions. He's not going to be anywhere like close to where he was in his prime, but I
of
think he'll
course.
be better. I think he'd be like a Kirk Cousins.
But think about it. I mean, like, look at the kind of receivers they put around him. Pat Fryermuth is a tight end who's big. You've got DK Metcalf who's huge. So honestly, they've given him big targets just so that like people who can like catch the ball in tough scenarios because they know Rodgers won't be able to do it to like a Calvin Ridley who needs the ball but he can make his own plays.
Yeah,
They need someone who
absolutely.
can just catch those crazy throws.
Yep.
So I think that's gonna help him out a little bit.
I Bengals are cooked this season. Their starting defense
Yeah,
allowed 24 points against the Eagles. Their backup Eagles, by the way.
yeah,
And it doesn't matter if Joe Burrow and Jamar Chase play perfect. They're not going to win every single game if their defense is horrible. Like that's all I'm gonna say.
yeah. I mean, we saw that last year too. Like their defense sucks, but I think that it's a bit more than just like the defense for the Bengals. I mean, like they can't make kicks. The running game is not as good as what it used to be, and their O line's still a big problem. Honestly, I think that Joe Burrow should request a trade. So should Jamar Chase, and I think T Higgins should also. Because honestly, like you're not going to win a championship anymore without this team's constructed. That's I think all you can say.
I think they focus too much on talent and not enough on like depth because
Yeah.
they have Trey Hendrickson and they're not gonna trade him. I think that's missed potential. I think Trey Hendrickson, you could trade him for easily a ton of depth players that are somewhat decent and could elevate
That's
this
exactly what I was
defense.
thinking. Yeah.
Yeah, and then I don't know why they're like not trading T Higgins. Like T Higgins is probably I think he's a wide receiver one on most teams, and they would easily trade like a first round, second round pick for T Higgins.
Yeah, but I still don't think that's what the Bengals need. Like honestly, I think I see why you would keep Higgins because you keep the offense as like top tier. But I think that Trey Hendrickson, if you trade him to like let's say a team like the Saints, you could get like four guys who are still solid, who automatically make your defense a lot better just because the Saints have like a mid-ish, close to mid defense. The Bengals have a below bad offense. Like they're not even like their defense. They're like if there was like a 46th ranked defense, that's where the Bengals are right now. They're below the average.
Yeah,
They're
absolutely.
below the worst.
All right.
So they just need something.
Yeah, yeah. All right. This is kind of crazy. 70
Yeah.
yards, bro. All right, let's
Listen,
watch this.
we're not joking. This kid can really drill the ball.
Holy smokes. They got a shot.
He just kicked a 70-yard field goal.
Dude, I can't believe that doesn't count as a record, bro. Yeah. Yo, I think he crashed, bro. Hold on. Alright, but yeah, I cannot believe that he hit that. It's kind of crazy, in my opinion, how he hit that and it didn't count as a record. I mean, it's just insane. Alright, so, now that he's gone, something I did want to talk about really fast is all of the rookies. I think the rookie class so far has been exceptional. Some of the rookies definitely have been iffy. I can't name. Oh yeah. So I think we're talking about the rookies. I think some of the rookies have been phenomenal, but then some of the rookies have been like iffy. If you know what I mean?
Yeah. Also, sorry I missed the call real quick. Some little technical error, but yeah, the rookies. Honestly, I think that people do sleep on this draft class just because of the few people that are like crazy.
Oh my gosh. Okay, he's gone again. But yeah, I think he's gonna talk about like people are sleeping on this draft class. Um, I think personally, Tedero McMillan he's probably almost as a Falcons fan, he could be as good as Drake London, if not better. In a couple of years. I think that's gonna be it.